my top 10 centers in the NBA. So I'm going to give you a list from 10 to 1 of who I believe are the top 10 centers in the NBA, a brief explanation as to why I put them in that position. All right. I just want to make it clear. Anything I express right now is my opinion, how I perceive them, and I'm going to explain to the best of my ability why I have them in certain situations. This is the first top 10 we've done. I would expect more for the other positions. This is the first top 10 we've done, and for centers, we'll fill out the rest of the starting 5 positions in the future. But today, top 10 center, just because it was requested. Top 10 centers of the NBA. Number 10 to me is Jonas Valanciunas. I had a hard time leaving Jusuf Nurkic off of this list. I had Nurkic at the 10 spot originally. However, Nurkic coming back from injury wasn't at his best last year. Jonas Valanciunas was great last year. Developed a little bit of a catch and shoot 3. Don't know how reliable that is. But I think JV was better than he's ever been last season. He's improving on defense. He's improving as a scorer, improving as a shooter, improving as a teammate. Lots of stuff improving about him. It's like I stand like a proud dad watching his only son that made it. You know, I love seeing JV succeed, even if it's not with the Raptors. It was a necessary trade to lose him to get Marc Gasol to win the championship. I'm happy to see JV thriving, and my goodness, was he thriving last year. I have him above Jusuf Nurkic. Now, disclaimer, picks 9, 8, and 7 were extremely hard to align in an order. So just 10 is JV's not top 9, but 9 through 7 are extremely difficult to separate. Top 6, I felt comfortable with where I had him. 9 through 7, I had difficulties. But number 9 on my list, I have Deandre Ayton. Could easily move up to 7. I think Deandre Ayton, I love him. I think he's a great player. I have rated him since his first year in the NBA. I think people are going a little bit too far with him just because he got to the NBA Finals. The reality is DeAndre Ayton is, you know, it's refreshing to see like a true big, like dominating in the NBA again. Not dominating, but being a very good NBA player again, and was instrumental in the success of the Suns. Very good down low in the post on offense. That's it. That's it. A little bit limited. Has never hit a 3 in the NBA, or either has never hit any or is like barely hit any. Doesn't shoot threes. Is a monster in the interior though, which is what makes him so good. Defensively, there are a lot of questions about him as well. Sure, he gets blocks to the size, but 1v1 against another like big center like him, he struggles. And it's no secret that he does struggle maybe a little bit. And those knocks made me put him at 9 behind number 8, Clint Capela. Clint Capela is great, very good offensively. Best rebounder of the league according to last season. Had the most rebounds in the league. Was the rebound champ last season. Is a perennial all defense team candidate, and is instrumental in the success of the Hawks. I could easily have him behind DeAndre Ayton, but I feel like if I had to have one on my team, I would love the athleticism and the bounce of Clint Capela. Very much a better defender. Offensively, there's not a huge difference in my opinion. So defensively, way better. Offensively, I don't think he's that far behind Ayton, so I put Clint Capela in this position. I love his bounce. I love the way he can interchange with guys like Trae Young, throw down lobs, so have him here. Maybe slightly controversial, number 7 is Christian Wood. He's not a power forward anymore. He played the entire last season as a center. I don't think it's crazy to have him here. Now, I was bickering a little bit about DeAndre Ayton's defense not being great. Christian Wood's defense isn't the best. It's solid, I think. And again, I'm going to reiterate, I can easily move like Ayton down to 9 and move Ayton up and Clint Capela up and whatnot. But I think that offensively, Christian Wood, when he was healthy, was so extremely good last season. Like his 3-point percentage was great. His 48% field goal percentage was great. And how good he was is an extreme tell, because when he was injured, when he got injured, the Houston Rockets were above 500. In the 19 games after his injury, they lost every single one until they beat the Raptors. But that team was above 500 when he was healthy. He was like a guaranteed MIP when he was healthy. And I think that offensively, he showcased enough to put him 7th on this list. Again, very difficult to separate these three guys. He was so good on offense that I had him right there. Could you make an argument he's worse than Aiden and Capela? Yes. But offensively, I struggled to not put him higher than these two. So, here's what 8. Top 6, I felt like it was easy to rank. Number 6, Nikola Vucevic. A really not good defender. Very not good defender. Offensively, though, he's basically an all-star caliber center. He can spread the floor, hit mid-range, hit threes, knows how to get it done on the inside, plays really well with an offensive system. Defensively, there are question marks, no doubt, but offensively, very, very talented. There's a reason this guy has been an all-star. Even playing with Orlando, showcased immense offensive talent, kept him relevant for a while, and I think he's in for a good season with the Bulls. Just if the Bulls can sort out any sort of their defensive issues. But number 6 for Vucevic. Number 5, slightly hot take, maybe. Rudy Gobert is number 5 for me. Other lists that I saw had him higher. I make this list based on impact. Like a lot of like my little decisions came down to if it like impacted a big game, what sort of impact are these players going to have? Rudy Gobert was a DPOY undoubtedly, but in big games, is he really that good for your team? Is he really going to affect your team that much? And let's give you game 6 against the Clippers, where Rudy Gobert, I don't think he had a block in game 6 or like the last big chunk of game 5. He's just, if he's not camping in the paint, he is very ineffective. And when it comes to big games in the playoffs, he's extremely ineffective. Massive overpay. And Rudy Gobert on his own can make a defense good, but my like impact wise, if I'm going for the top of the top for the NBA, Rudy Gobert is top 5 for me, and I can't put him any higher. But I recognize the talent that he has defensively. Overpay, wild overpay, I think, for Rudy Gobert. Number 4 on the list is Bam Adebayo. Again, this is a center. Power forward wise, doesn't play there anymore. He's a center in the modern NBA. I love Bam Adebayo. Most lists had Bam lower than Gobert. I take Bam Adebayo over Rudy Gobert 10 times out of 10. Excellent offensive player, excellent defensive player. Should be a DPOY candidate. Like in the mix, maybe not a finalist. Should be in the mix. Should be in the mix for all defense teams. Offensively, he's fantastic. Can minorly spread the floor. Excellent on the interior. Very athletic. There's a lot I like about Bam Adebayo, and I'm gonna put Bam Adebayo above Rudy Gobert, but still both of them in the top 5. Yeah, there's so much he brings to the offensive game. Not to mention, he was a DPOY finalist, so there you go. Extremely talented player. Bam Adebayo top 4. Could not put him above the number 3 player, KarlAnthony Towns. He's on a team that sucks, and I recognize KarlAnthony Towns is really bad on defense. Offensively, he's a superstar. He's a superstar. He's like Anthony Davis, where he was like when Anthony was on the Pelicans, nobody really gave him that superstar respect. KarlAnthony Towns needs to move to get this superstar respect, because this is an very rare player who can shoot the 3 so well as a 7-footer, is a monster on the interior, can run your offense, can be your number 1 primary option as a center. Not many players can do that. In fact, only 3 on this list can do that, and the reason I have him top 3 is because of that. Extremely talented as a defender when he's healthy. Fantastic. An argument can be made for Bam for winning, if you gotta win a game. I have never seen KarlAnthony Towns in a situation where he has a chance to prove it in big games, because he's on Minnesota. They suck. And the argument can be made that, oh, he's a superstar, he's supposed to make them better, but like Minnesota are so bad, and he's always injured. KarlAnthony Towns is better than Bam. I have him at 3. Big gap from 3 to 2 though. The top 2 are the top 2, no doubt. The placement of the 2 guys in the top 2 is extremely difficult to separate. I found it extremely difficult to separate. Ultimately, I chose Joel Embiid as number 2. If you have Joel Embiid as number 1, there's an argument to be made, and I'm going to understand completely that you have decided that. For me, Joel Embiid, the way I can separate Jokic and Embiid, because they are both tremendous offensive players, superstars, insane 3-point game, insane finishing. I feel like Jokic on Philly makes Philly better, and I think Embiid on Denver makes Denver worse, because Nikola Jokic on his own can run your offense. I think as talented as Joel Embiid is, he can't run your team. When Jamal Murray went down this season, the Denver Nuggets had no business being as successful as they were and winning a playoff series, except for the literal NBA MVP, Nikola Jokic. So it's hard to pick. I am going to go with Nikola Jokic. I think basketball IQ is better. I think offensively, he's better. 3-point wise, better. Interior finishing, maybe not as good. Ball handling, much better. Defense, he's not as good as Joel Embiid. Concede that. But Jokic isn't the worst thing in the world on defense. He's a fine defender. I think people overhate on Jokic's defense. So, all that considered, I'd love to have either of these guys. But I don't think Embiid can do the things that Jokic does. But I think Jokic can do anything Embiid does.